to make sure that
All right,
just for
sorry.
the recording.
Yep, no problem at all. On you go, Mark.
Okay. So good morning, everyone. This is a reminder that the meeting will be recorded and will appear on the Council's website soon after. Members of the committee should leave their cameras on, but switch off their microphones until they wish to speak. Officers should switch their microphones and cameras off until the convener brings you into the meeting. Those observing today's proceedings should have their cameras and microphones switched off at all times. If members or officers wish to address the committee, please press the raise your hand icon, which is located on the Teams toolbar, but remember to switch it off after the convener brings you in. I will now start the recording and undertake a roll call to identify those in attendance. Councillor Reynolds.
Here.
Councillor Bell.
Present.
Councillor Delaney. Hello, Councillor Delaney.
Present.
Councillor Malik.
Here.
And we've got Councillor Henrickson, who's a substitute for Councillor Radley.
Present.
Thank you. I'll now hand over to the convener.
Thank you very much indeed, Mark. Mark, we've spoken, just before we go on to the business proper, we've spoken about the difficulties I'm having with my screen. I don't know whether everybody has got just the little icons at the bottom without names or initials or anything on, or have you got names against everything?
Sorry, just to come back in, I've got icons and photographs for everyone. It's in the meeting today. You don't have that.
I don't have it, and to be honest, this is the only committee that I have a problem with. Every other committee I'm on, the icons at the bottom there have the photographs or the names against it, so you know who you're bringing in. And Mark, we spoke about this after the meeting last time. I felt so embarrassed that when Councillor Townsend wanted to come in, I did him. I just had to say, who's got the hand up? Can we do anything about it?
Well, I think what we can do just now is we can go ahead with the meeting, and then if all the councillors can just remain on after the meeting's finished, then my colleague Derek Jameson is with us today. So after the meeting is finished, we'll have a chat and discuss this technical issues.
Okay. Am I the only one that's got that problem though?
Well, convener, may I make a suggestion, please? If you click on the icon at the top that says show participants, it's got two bodies, two heads. Click on that.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And then to the right of your display, you'll show all of the people in the meeting. And when a hand goes up, you'll see who the hand's gone up against.
Ah, right. Okay. Okay, that's fine. I get that bit now, but still, it should be the same at the bottom, shouldn't it? Everything should be live at the bottom, but it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Just to confirm, convener, I just have blank icons down at the bottom as well.
Okay. Well, what about the rest of the guys? Have you got the same problem? Philip, Steve? What? Philip, you've gone blank on me. Put your microphone on.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. I do as well, but it doesn't matter those. If you click on the show participants, that's a workaround. Then that's for all meetings, really.
Okay.
I'm seeing much the same, and fairly normal. You see yourself in the sort of bottom right hand corner, and then you just see a row of icons, and it's only those who have the cameras on that you're seeing in the middle. So I think that's the proper operation.
Excellent. Okie dokie. Okay, let's move on then. Have we got the objector and the applicants online, or are they coming in, Mark?
I think Arlene will take us through that.
Right. Okie dokie.
The applicant and both objectors are in the meeting currently.
Excellent. Okay, thank you very much indeed. And Arlene, you're going to bring in the site map, etc., for us. Is that correct?
Yeah, just let me know when you want to see it.
Excellent. Thank you very much indeed. Sandy, can I bring you in first of all, and you can explain to the applicant and the objectors what's going to happen?
Yeah, thank you. Morning. So initially, my apologies again that this meeting had to be called due to the error of the last time. Thank you all for attending. Just to confirm, convener, the applicant, Mr. Durno, is present, and two of the four objectors, objector number 2, Heather Wilson, and objector number 4, Sonia Scaife, are both with us. This is an application for a street trader's license, so we will follow the usual procedure. The applicant will be invited to speak first, then the objectors, then the applicant will get a chance just to come back in case there's any other information that he wants to come back to following the objectors' comments. Then it'll be questions from members to all parties. Summing up will be done in reverse order, so the objectors will sum up, then the applicant, then the basically the committee will come to their decision.
Excellent. Thank you very much indeed. So, Mr. Denno, over to you first of all.
Hello, everybody.
Morning.
Can I be seen? There I am.
Yeah, we've got you.
Okay. Right. Yeah, I'm looking for a street trader's license for my little burger van. I don't have the actual complaints detail in front of me anymore, as I left my notebook. However, the main concerns seems to be traffic, access for emergency vehicles, safety of school children. I've taken all steps I possibly can to ensure there is no issues with this. I've looked into all emergency services, the spaces they require to gain access. I don't know. I would like to actually hear what the complainants have to say first, to be fair, because it's okay. Sorry, I've got note of all these objections. Objection number 2.
Yep. So are you finished your presentation, Mr. Denno? Mr. Denno, are you finished your presentation?
No, I'm not. Sorry.
Okay, carry on.
Right. Public objection number 2. We have been advised that a license has been requested for a fast food van, and we are extremely unhappy. The application would be given the opportunity to object. There are ongoing issues with traffic congestion in Bank Street and Gladstone Place, Woodside. This van has already been trading, and traffic congestion has caused difficulty to neighbours in the area. Thank you for your email acknowledgement. As we have a little more time, we would like to expand an original objection. Traffic congestion on Bank Street and Gladstone Place has been an issue for quite some time. At the corner of Bank Street and Great Northern Road, we have a busy supermarket with only 3 dedicated parking spaces. Their customers have to park in the adjacent streets. There are also garages in Canal Street with cars arriving for repair. These cars are often left on Gladstone Place, Bank Street and Deer Road, either awaiting repair or collection, and again add to the congestion we are experiencing. Complaints regarding this have been made to the police, and details provided of a number of cars emanating from the garage with no valid road tax or MOT. Right, just to address a few of these. The traffic congestion, all vehicles arriving at the workshop, at garage, they are quick turnaround vehicles. Anything that's left parked outside on the street is all left in safe, unregulated parking spaces. Traffic congestion on Bank Street, yes, that is an issue, but that is not an issue that is connection with the workshop. This burger van will not add to that, simply for the fact I'm not Burger King or McDonald's or KFC. Nobody is getting into the car and traveling from far and wide to come to my little burger van. The whole purpose of my burger van being there at the workshop is so that when customers are there for an hour, hour and a half, whatever they may be there to get the car, their tires fixed, their brakes repaired, is to supply them somewhere where they can have something to do. With the best of respect to Woodside, there is really not an awful lot I can ask a customer to do for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours in Woodside. I can offer them a cup of tea, I can offer them a coffee, I can offer them a bacon roll from Burger Van. That is basically the whole function of that burger van. Again, like I said, the traffic congestion at the corner of Bank Street, yes, that is bad. However, that is not impacted by my burger van being there. Furthermore to these issues, I just thought I'd touch base on that one before I lose my place on it. Councillor Lady Bumbar has assisted in this and forwarded information to the local police inspector on our behalf. I have had police out. They have spoke to me about things going on in the street. I have invited them to come back. They have come back on a busy day. We have gone through every vehicle that I have there, all the space that I am currently using on the street. They have looked at every part of what I'm doing. They were happy with everything that was going on there. I have also had fire brigade out. Fire brigade have checked along the street. Fire brigade have been happy with what was going on there. Just to touch on that point. What else do we have? There is very little parking in Canal Street. The garage at the end of the lane where the burger van is situated has no dedicated customer parking space that could be used by customers. The burger van is taking up a parking space that could be used by garage customers. We have had to reverse out of Bank Street onto Great Northern Road as cars have been parked so badly that you cannot pass through Bank Street. We have also experienced abusive drivers who refuse to move to allow other cars to pass and force you to fold your wing mirrors and hope for the best. This is an accident waiting to happen. Why encourage further trade to the area when the street is already so busy? Again, parking on Bank Street is nothing in relation to my workshop. The main issue with parking on Bank Street, if parking on Bank Street was monitored, it would all be short stay parking, as in 20 minutes, 30 minutes, as in they arrive, they go to the supermarket, which is on the corner of Bank Street, Great Northern Road, and they leave. There is a lot of parking there for that. However, that is not impacted by my burger van. The burger van has already been trading without a license, and we are sure that this will be adding to the congestion, which is extremely bad in the lead up to Christmas due to the number of customers visiting the supermarket. Yes, indeed, I was trading without a license, and I apologize wholeheartedly for that. That was a misunderstanding on my part. The application was put forward, was applied for. Health and safety had been out. Health and safety were happy with the circumstances of the burger van. I mistakenly took that as I can trade whilst the application is going through. That is my fault. I wholeheartedly accept that. However, upon learning that that was not the case in December and that I was in the wrong, I shut the burger van down. The burger van has not traded since then. I have waited until we actually get through this process. However, the one good thing about that is that it does actually give me a little bit of pre-knowledge of what impact my burger van would have on the area, as in the fact it does not bring extra traffic, it does not bring extra footfall. It's just purely there for customers of the workshop. That is the main plus point I can take from that. Parking on Bank Street. The burger van has already been trading. We understand that work is to be started on utility infrastructure at the Don Place end of Gladstone Place. This will no doubt additionally add pressures and issues regarding entry and exit for residents. I've attached a photo of the problem. Not entirely sure where that is. That is... Yeah, that is going down Bank Street. However, as I said, about 20-minute short stay parking. I can see no resident cars actually parked there. Oh, I can see one down the bottom. Again, this is short stay parking, which is not in connection with either my workshop or burger van. A number of years ago, double yellow lines were introduced in Gladstone Place following concerns by Grampian Fire and Rescue regarding Gladstone Place. It was found that vehicles be parked in such a manner that was effectively obstructing access to the street for any HGVs, including fire applications or other emergency vehicles. We feel that this area cannot support a burger van that will attract additional customers and request the license not approved, although the burger van is suitable in a private lane. Although the burger van is situated in a private lane, there is no parking space available in the lane for customers, and they will have to park in Bank Street or Gladstone Place due to the congestion caused already by parked cars. It is not a safe area to encourage pedestrians to visit either. For those reasons, we would request that the license is not granted. Okay, that's me reached the end of public objection number 2. Parking spaces in the lane. I have been around all residents in the lane. From our understanding with the residents, with myself, with everybody there, because it is a private lane, halfway across the lane, the resident on that side is responsible for that part of the lane. That is kind of their part of the lane. I have been around every resident. Every vehicle that I have that's situated there has residents' consent to be there. Where the burger van is located, that section of the lane is the only section which is not tarred, because the man who claimed responsibility for that one, claimed ownership of that part of the lane, refused to have it tarred. Therefore, it could not be tarred. That man has written a letter. He has signed that letter to give full consent to me actually having the burger van there, as far as he's concerned, to have it trading, to have it used, have it situated. He is more than happy for that to be there. I have also been around every resident who is directly affected by this. I have asked them if they have any objections to it. They have all signed a document that says they have no objections to it being there. I've got nearly 20 different residents sign this thing. That's the directly surrounding area. There is no, within smelling range of a burger, there is no actual objection to the burger van being there at this point in time. And they have all signed to say that they are happy with it. The document of the landowner, I believe, has been sent forward. The document with the other signatures has not, although it can be supplied very easily. That is not a problem. Public objection number 4 or number 3? Who's online? Sorry. Hello?
Objection number 4, Mr. Durno. If you are, just carry on, please.
Okay, number 4. I would like to object to the license being given to this van. At present, the parking situation on Bank Street and Gladstone Place is appalling. Cars parked everywhere and access limited due to current shops / fast food outlets, garage parking their cars everywhere. If emergency access was needed to Bank Street, it would have no hope. Right, I'm going to stop that one there. Current shops, fast food outlets, garage parking. Current shops, yes, current shops is an issue. There's a lot of parking there. They have a very busy shop in the corner. However, that is a completely unrelated business to mine. Fast food outlets, there are no fast food outlets during the day in Woodside that I'm aware of. Garage parking their cars everywhere. Garage vehicles are turned around as quickly as can possibly be. I do have certain spaces on the lane where residents have allowed me to park their car. I do not need to be using Bank Street. Bank Street is not my area. Should emergency vehicles, where are we? If emergency access was needed to Bank Street, it would have no hope. Again, I am not on Bank Street. On Canal Street, I have left the space for all emergency vehicles. For example, Grampian Fire and Rescue state they need 10 feet to get their vehicles through. I have left a 10-feet gap the entire way along Canal Street. In reality, they say 10 feet. A fire engine, wing mirror to wing mirror, is 2.4 meters. which is just over 8 feet. I have left clear 10 feet from burger van to wall, from any parked vehicles to wall. There is never an issue with access for emergency vehicles. Yesterday afternoon, there was an ambulance came along Canal Street. Wing mirrors stuck right out. They had room to get through. I do not obstruct vehicles getting through there at all at any point, especially emergency vehicles. Again, what happens when they get onto Bank Street, it is not impacted by what I'm doing. And I'm saying nobody comes from miles around to get a burger from my burger van. It's nothing that special. It is there purely for customers who, in reality, as a customer arrives at me for an hour and a half, 2 hours, I've got nowhere I can send them other than getting on a bus and heading into town to do, I don't know what you can do actually these days in town because of COVID restrictions. You can go around pound stretchers, which again, there's only so many times you can do that in an hour and a half. I'm trying to accommodate to my own other businesses by purely being able to offer them a cup of tea, coffee, burger, bacon roll, whatever, in what is a very small burger van, which takes up less space than an actual car. Public objection number 4. If emergency vehicle, there seems to be no current respect to residents and thus would only make it worse. Again, I've been around all residents that are directly affected by this. They have all signed a document to say that they are happy with this. There is no issue with this. I've got but 20 signatures, roughly speaking, of all residents roundabout, as well as a specific letter of consent from the person who claims ownership for the piece of land where the burger van is located. Accessing Bank Street at present is currently a liability. Again, that is not because of my operations. Personally, due to vehicles stopping everywhere on the street, sometimes you turn in off Great Northern Road and fear for your life, as there is nowhere to go and you are stuck half in and half out of the junction. Sadly, this is true. However, that is not impacted by my vehicles. That is not impacted by my burger van. That is not impacted by my workshop. That is an ongoing issue, which in the past week has been highlighted even more due to the Easter holiday weekend, which has saw an upturn in trade for the supermarket on the corner. Passengers having any turn in, fear for your life. A food van several meters down the road will only impact negatively on this danger. I hope my objection will be taken seriously. Again, as a fast food outlet, it is not for people traveling far and wide to come and have food. It is purely for customers of the workshop. In the months where it was trading illegally, it barely covered its bills. It's not designed as a money spinner. It's not something that drags people from miles far and round. It is purely there so I can offer customers refreshments. The whole idea of where I got this from to do that was when I joined up to a website called Black Circles a couple of years ago. I don't know if anybody's heard of Black Circles, but it's an online tire sales website. When I signed up to them as a member, people buy their tires, they select a garage, they come to get their tires fitted, they go away happy. You had multiple tick boxes of all the services that I could offer. Do I have a toilet for customers to use? Do I have a reception area, a waiting area? Do I have any sort of entertainment? Do I offer refreshments? Again, when I saw do I offer refreshments, it's something I work towards. And that's basically what this burger van is for. It is not something designed to be big business. It is just something designed to add to a customer experience of a pre-existing business. It's something which takes up less room than any of the parked streets and any of the parked cars in the street. It is something I have been round all residents of the private street to ask for permission for. It is something that operates discreetly. It is something which I'm not sure who the complainants exactly are. However, I do know that everybody round about has expressed that they are happy with the burger van being there. And at that point, I would like to hear from the complainants.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. So if we can bring in the first objector, which is objection number 2, and for the record, if we could get your name, please.
Hello, hi, I'm Heather Wilson.
Hi there. Ms. Wilson, over to you to speak to your objection, please.
Okay, I think Mr. Durnow's read my letter fully, so I just want to pick up on a few points. I live on Gladstone Place. I do not live on Bank Street or Canal Street, but I would say that the neighbours in our street are unhappy and feel that the burger van has made an impact. We've had ongoing issues with traffic in our street for quite some time, and it's really been the supermarket that triggered the initial contact we had with our councillor, Councillor Leslie Dunbar. And at the time, we were just beginning to think we could not access our street because of the volume of traffic. And it was at that time that we discovered the burger van had opened, and it became really difficult for us. But the burger van was advertising. It had boards up on Great Northern Road directing people down to the burger van. It was also advertising discounts for school children. So it was, we felt, attracting people, or it was trying to attract people down to the area. So I think, you know, we had an issue there, and that was what brought it to a head, the burger van. There's no denying that the supermarket is a big contributor to the traffic problems we have in our area. But I also submitted the photograph to let people see this is the impact that everything in the area, not just the burger van or the garage, but it's the supermarket, it's the combination of everything that's going on in the area. It's a busy area, a lot of people have cars, a lot of people visit the supermarket. I think the burger van is just the straw that broke the camel's back. It's just going to add to the congestion that we see already. And I think Mr. Durnow is not acknowledging that his business is having an impact on the neighbours in the area. We live in Gladstone Place. People come to the garage. In the garage, if there's no parking, they leave their cars on Gladstone Place, and Mr. Durnow will come and collect them and work on them. And then once they're finished, they're put back to Gladstone Place or Bank Street. This is the issue that we have, and it could be the cars are there for quite some time. When we did speak to Councillor Dunbar about the impact of cars being left in our street, a lot of that impact was because the cars either had no MOT or no road tax. Some of them had been moved on because of that, because we spoke to the police. But it turns out that a lot of the cars have valid MOTs and valid road tax. They're quite entitled to park in the street, so there's nothing we can do as residents, and we acknowledge that, and so did the police. But what we did object to were cars being left with no valid MOT or road tax, and that's the ones we want moved, and they have been moved from the street. But that's the impact the garage has. It's just the fact that the burger van is going to be an added extra. So why make it worse for us? We live in Gladstone Place. I'm sure, you know, people round about have given their permission, obviously, as we've heard, but that doesn't stop the impact that it's having on us as residents in the surrounding areas. So I think, you know, I just feel, you know, we still feel there's a traffic issue to be addressed. There is restricted parking on Bank Street. Nobody pays attention to it. Everybody just comes and parks. They think they're only going to be 20 minutes, or as Mr. Durnow says, a quick turnaround, but they still park their cars because they feel it's just a short visit. And it does impact on everybody trying to get through that street. There's no way that photograph I submitted, that's a common occurrence. That's just an extreme that's happened on a particular day. That's what it looks like on a regular basis. So I really do feel this is just one thing too much for us in the area. And I think that's probably as much as I would want to say. I just feel my letter stands, and I feel it's an accurate description of the situation we're in. I would say as well, a number of our neighbours said they did submit objections, but whether they've been lost in the ether or never quite made it, I don't know. But the general feeling of the people in Gladstone Place is that it is an impact on us.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. And of course, you'll be able to come back when you sum up at the end after the questions, etc. Thank you very much indeed. Can we take in now the objector number 4, please? Yes,
can I? Yeah, sorry, sorry to bother you. Can I leave this meeting? You have quorum. I have to attend a local authority pension fund executive members meeting. Started 10:30. Would it be possible if I can leave this one?
Most certainly, not a problem at all. Thanks for coming along anyway, Councillor Malik.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye now. Okay, sorry, folks. Yeah, if we can bring in objector number 4 now, please, and for the record, if you can indicate your name.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sonia Scaife.
Good morning and welcome.
Thank you. Yes, I'm also a resident in Gladstone Place, and completely agree with what the lady you were just listening to was saying. It's just a step too far for us. We have struggled all the way down Bank Street. I do disagree that the garage doesn't use Bank Street, but that's neither here nor there. The Polish shop is a very busy shop. The access is absolutely horrendous. I myself witnessed an ambulance trying to come down yesterday, and it had to turn back and go along to the end of Dawn Street and come into Gladstone Place along that way because it couldn't get down Bank Street. The burger van has been advertising at the top of the road, as Ms Wilson said. So for Mr Adorno to be saying that it's just for the garage customers, that certainly was not the demographic that it seemed to be advertising to. The parking is appalling. The garage daily has vehicles parked down Bank Street and several along Gladstone Place. These occasionally get moved. One has been moved around the corner outside the Salvation Army place at the end of Deer Road. Parking in our street is just shocking, absolutely shocking. As I stated in my objection, I daily come along Great Northern Road and try and turn down into Bank Street. You can be stopped by people trying to park in either the 3 spaces or on Bank Street to go to the Polish shop or to go to the garage. And I've nearly been rear-ended about 4 times now, having to just stop. If there's a bus that's coming up behind you, you look in your rear mirror and you think, is this the time that I'm going to be a goner? Because there is just no parking, and we all feel, backing up what Ms Wilson was saying, there are several more letters that had come in of concerns, so I don't know where they have gone, but we just feel that the burger van is just a step too far. We've got the Polish shop, we've got the garage to deal with. The residents' parking has gone. We're having residents, we've got a lot of older residents in Gladstone Place that are not managing to park anywhere near their houses, and that does impact on their daily lives. So we would just like to take that if you could please take that into consideration. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. Now, Mr Adorno, if you'd like to come in and tackle any of the points raised that you haven't already tackled, bearing in mind that you will be summing at the end anyway.
Yeah, what I did say previously about the burger van being for garage customers, yes, it has advertised, it has appealed for the people, and that's how I know that it does not impact upon foot flow, traffic flow. I'm well aware of how little business it does. It is there purely as a garage add-on. Okay, I know that nobody comes to me from miles around. I'm well aware of that. The fact there was a sign up is testament to that. Nobody came from it. The sign is now in tatters. It no longer operates. Discounts for school children, Yeah, that was also one of the complaints earlier, that there have been groups of school children seen there in groups, which was a complete falsity, as from a logical point of view, that would make no sense. It was far too far away for school children to gather there during the day. That's the thing. As the straw that broke the camel's back, it does not add to traffic congestion. The issues on Bank Street, the issues on Gladstone Place are still there. The burger van has not traded illegally or otherwise since the middle of December. I've shut it down in accordance with what is legally right. And traffic flow has not eased. Traffic flow has not eased, nor did it increase when the burger van was operating. Traffic congestion on Bank Street has remained static, apart from this past week where it has increased due to Easter holidays. Burger van does not add foot flow, traffic congestion. That's basically as far as I can, that's as much as I can say about it, really. It is there as a customer amenity to my workshop.
Right, thank you very much indeed. Thanks for the add-ons there. Now it's open to questions. Can I first of all bring in Sandy though, because I do have a question regarding roads. Roads are, I think, one of our consultees, but they haven't bothered to come back to us with any information. Would that be correct, Sandy?
Yeah, we do. Normally roads will only submit a response if the site is on public, a public road or what have you. Because this one's on a private road, it's not one that they would comment on, because what they're commenting on is the siting of the application. They're not commenting on the surrounding area, if you like. So it's not unusual that roads would not come back on the likes of this because it's on private ground.
Okay. I think
Sorry, Arlene's got her hand up, so she maybe knows more than me because she dealt with the actual application.
Yeah. Okay, Arlene, if you want to come in, and at some stage, I don't know how you do it, if you can share the site plan as well for me.
Yeah, sure. Just to confirm that Roads did reply, but the response was that it was on private land. Okay, so despite it being on private land, they felt there would be no impact on public roads. Is that correct? No, that's not what they say. They don't, like Sandy said, they won't comment on land that's not an adopted road. So they were pointing out it was a private road, which then led us to ask for landowner consent, which the applicant has provided. Okay, so we've got the consent, and it's from one person, did Mr. Dunno say, in the lane itself that owns that particular piece of land? Yes, that's what the consent appears to be, yeah. Okay, that's great. Okay, members, out to you for questions, please. Any questions? Councillor Henrickson.
Thank you, convener. It's a question for Mr. Durno. Excuse me, did you actually consult with the properties on Gladstone Place that back onto the lane? I know you mentioned that you consulted with the people that live on Canal Street, but did you speak to the people that actually back onto the lane from Gladstone Place?
Right, Canal Street. If we were to draw a line up the centre of Canal Street, okay, everyone who is resident on the left-hand side of that line would be responsible for that side of the road. Everyone who is on the right-hand side would be responsible for that side of the road. They would be like ownership of that part of the road. The back end, as you go up Canal Street from Bank Street, everything on the left-hand side is Gladstone Place's backyard. Oh, I've got a picture of it here. Everything on the left-hand side is Gladstone Place's backyard. I have the 20 signatures that I say I have, which I can supply, that's not an issue. They are Gladstone Place. The person who is claiming ownership of where the land is Gladstone Place. The house next to that 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 is Gladstone Place. And the house next to that is Gladstone Place. There is one signature along there which I don't have because they have only just moved in. I've been trying to get a hold of them. I just couldn't get a hold of them as yet. That is Neil. They have also used the burger van when it was trading. So all of those people on one side of the lane are technically Gladstone Place residents. Well, they are actually Gladstone Place residents. On the other side of the lane, we have Canal Street, which have also signed. The new flats, which that end of Canal Street is the supposed main access to, there's multiple residents in there who have also signed. On to Bank Street itself, the residents that I've spoke to on the Bank Street end as well have also signed to supply consent to this. Literally, where the burger van is, drawing a circle round about, kind of more bias along Canal Street, every neighbour in there, I've asked if they had objection to it, they've said no, and I've asked them to sign, and they have all signed.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Henrickson, does that answer your question?
Yes, it does, convener. If I may, I've just got a further question. You mentioned that you'd spoken to the emergency services, the fire, regarding access along Canal Street. Did anyone from the fire service actually visit the site to have a look at it to say whether it was okay?
One of the initial complainants who hasn't showed up, and I believe I know which one it is, but that's neither here nor there. At the very beginning of the burger van arriving, they kicked up quite a fuss about it, and they called pretty much every service that they could think of, and they all came out visiting me. One of them was the fire service. They checked everything over at that point in time. They were happy with it at that point in time. As for making contact, I have attempted to make contact with the ambulance service. I had no response back from them, to be fair. The Grampian Fire and Rescue, I haven't actually made contact with them, although they did put out a public post stating that they need 10 feet to get their fire engine through. It's a huge vehicle. They need 10 feet of gap. If people are parked closer than not leaving 10 feet, they can't get through. An actual fire engine, the widest point is the wing mirrors. They stretch out to 2.4 meters. A regular class 2 HGV is 2.5. Fire engines are a slightly smaller one at 2.4 meters wide. 2.4 meters is just over 8 feet. I have specifically left 10 feet the entire way where I've got anything parked, anything situated on Canal Street. I have put little markings on the ground to make sure they are there. I have had actual road marking paint supplied to me by Aberdeenshire Council, where I can put sort of temporary markings. If needed, I can increase the marking there to ensure there is 10 feet. I have left as much access as has been asked for by emergency vehicles. I do wish that the ambulance people had come back to me to give me what their requirements are. However, having had an ambulance come through there yesterday, I've personally firsthand seen that they do have room to get through there.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. Councillor Henrickson, is that okay? Or do you have a follow-up?
I just have one further question, convener.
Yes.
With regards to the advertising, I have noticed on Google Earth there is advertising on the Bank Street end of Canal Street. Is that yours, and has it been removed to prevent people coming in to the van? Thank you.
There is no burger van advertising at this point in time anywhere. Absolutely nothing. It's an absolute dormant business. Just waiting on approval. And it has been since the middle of December. I haven't even thought about advertising since the middle of December.
Mr. Deno, for your information, we wouldn't condone that anyway. We would frown on any sort of A-boards on the pavement. Council has a policy of A boards, and every time one is reported to the council, they are removed. So please don't be tempted to put an A board on for any sort of advertising, whether it be a workshop or for your fast food van. Councillor,
in response to that, if I may, the big carpet warehouse, which is situated pretty much in an L shape round about me, which is the empty parking space on the corner of Great Northern Road and Bank Street there. Building 442, I have actually been in touch with the carpet company about getting a sign advertising put up on their wall, so it is separated away from the street, from pedestrians, from anything. It would be on, away from the street altogether.
Yeah, don't forget to get planning permission then, because you will need that. Okay, Councillor Henrickson, does that answer your questions?
Just following up on that, convener. So you are actually intending on advertising the burger van?
We have a Facebook page for the burger van. I will continue to post things on there because I multi-post on there from my workshop and from the garage and we cross over, and the extra £2 that I can take in from a burger or a bacon roll or whatever is always an appreciated income. However, the main purpose of the burger van is there as an add-on to my workshop. My workshop is the #1 business. It has been for the last 5 years as of last Monday. Yeah, this is an add-on to that.
Yeah, okay. Just a follow-on for that, convener. So you are actually intending on, I just want to clarify this, you are actually intending on advertising the burger van to encourage people to come in?
There will be Facebook posts. It will not be advertised as it's its own burger van. It will be advertised as in it is once again open for garage customers.
Right. Thank you, convener. I'm finished. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. Councillor Delaney next, please.
Thank you, convener. A question for the applicant. In fact, 2 questions. First question is, if indeed the burger van is intended just for your own customers, you've been advertising elsewhere, as we know. You're looking to continue advertising as well. I'm wondering where the need for the burger van arises. Now, I know you've explained for your customers, but was there no possibility of putting facilities into your premises? Is the first question.
There is no possibility of putting facilities into my premises. It's far too small. Yeah, no, I couldn't do that even if I wanted to. That is, yeah. It was brought in, the whole idea of it arising was when I signed up for the Black Circle's website. On Black Circle's website, they did ask if I could supply like waiting areas, which I have created one. I can't use it due to COVID restrictions, but I have created one. Toilet facilities, yes, they are there. Again, can't use them because of COVID facilities, but I've managed to accommodate for that. And they also asked about refreshments. This is the ideal compromise for a refreshments outlet for customers who are in reality only there for about 30 minutes to an hour and a half.
Okay, thank you. Now, my second question is, Mr. Durno, you had referred to the fact that you saw no difference with regard to the traffic situation when your burger van wasn't operating. So basically, you're saying the burger van is having no impact whatsoever. Now, do you think that it's appropriate to make a comparison for or against under current circumstances, given the fact we've been in lockdown for 3 months and there's no comparable data?
It's the only data that I have going forward. It is the only real positive I can take from my misunderstanding of trading for that brief period of time. To be fair, right along the end of Great Northern Road, we have a KFC. Right along the other end of Great Northern Road, we have a McDonald's or a Burger King along it Kitty Brewster. If anyone wants to get in their vehicle and go travelling to have a burger, to have fries, or to have whatever else, a little yellow burger van on a back street in Great Northern Road, or a KFC or a McDonald's for a couple of minutes extra drive, with parking, with other retail outlets, with other amenities round about, I'm not even competing in that market at all. There is nobody coming to me from miles around to get a bacon roll from my burger van. It's something when somebody arrives to get 2 tyres and they're going to be there for an hour. Yeah, sure. Why not have a burger? Why not have a coffee? It's a good idea. It's a way to pass the time. It also makes me an extra quid on the side. That's fine. That's not a problem. But it doesn't have a public appeal where people are going to get dressed, get in the car and travel to come and see me to get a burger. I don't know if anybody has actually seen the burger van itself, but it's not.
Yeah, if I can maybe expand upon the point. My point really was that clearly parking is a problem in the area, and we've seen from the photographs you've acknowledged it yourself, fair enough. The issue I was making was that you were saying that the situation was just as bad with the burger van not there. And my point, I suppose, really is the burger van may not have been there, but the residents would have been because they've all been in lockdown. So I think it was not necessarily the best of comparisons to be making.
It's maybe not 100% accurate comparison, but there is a comparable data in there. If we're coming out of lockdown now, then that would invariably mean that more cars would be moving around during the day and residents more so would be going to work. And therefore, there would be more actual spaces during the day also. That's not to say that, I mean, based on that same thing, there could be more people going to the supermarket as well during the day. That's, it is the best data I've actually got at the time. It's the best data any of us have actually got at the time.
Okay, thank you.
Not sure if I've lost John. Councillor Reynolds. Oh, he's back.
Hi, sorry, I lost you for a minute there. My apologies. Right, Councillor Bell, next question, please.
Thank you, convener. Mr. Durno, question for you, I think. So your workshops, can you tell me what services that you actually provide? Just wanted to clarify. You mentioned tyres. You mention well, clearly vehicles that are being MOT'd, so forth. So does it offer the whole full suite of garage workshop facilities?
As much as I can reasonably do within a quick turnaround at my small workshop. It is a very small workshop. That is my main issue. My preference to things is on tyres, which is why I've got a tyre brand which I'm an exclusive dealer of, why I'm on this Black Circles website. My preference is towards tyres, is towards brakes, is towards things that quickly turn around. I have no desire for larger jobs to be there for days and weeks on end. It's not my desire to get down that field of work.
No, thank you. I understand. So how do customers actually come to you? I mean, do they book or do they just turn up?
Generally, they all call and book ahead.
Generally.
What I was, if I can elaborate on that, please. I've been in business 5 years now as a garage on my own. The first 3 years of that, I was a mobile repairer, whereby I would go to people's houses, whether at work or their driveways, or even by the street, or wherever was necessary to go. And I worked there, and then I traveled on to the next job. And I covered a huge area all the way from Fort William, Bucky, I even went as far as Edinburgh one night. So customers call me and they book my time and they book the car in and they come to see me. And again, that's another part of what the issue is these customers, they come from far and wide to see me. They come to an area they don't know and they have really nowhere to go in Woodside. I grant you there's a lovely walk down by the riverside in Woodside, but apart from that brief couple of weeks in summertime, it's bitterly cold and not really the greatest of ways to spend an hour and a half.
Right. So you offer fast services essentially. Customers book in advance. They don't know the area, so they might be, sort of around your workshop for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours max. So you decided that a burger van would be quite nice just to just to provide them with some sustenance and a cup of tea whilst you're actually working on their vehicle. So on the basis that it's just for for your customers, they're there max 2 hours. Is it actually covering its costs?
Just.
Who actually operates the burger van? Do you operate it? Do you actually serve the burgers and the teas and coffees, so forth, or do you employ somebody?
I do not. There's a partner in the garage business who operates the burger van during the day. They stay there during the day and they operate whenever there's need be.
Okay, so it's a supplementary business to your workshop then.
It's a supplementary business, yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Bell. Any other questions? Yeah, I've got a question for Ms. Wilson. The photographs that you supplied us with, on the right-hand side, there appears to be double yellow lines. Do those continue under that white car, if it is a white car?
I think under the white car, it's actually a single yellow line. So it's restricted parking from 8 AM, no parking from 8 AM to 6 PM, but nobody pays any attention to it. So there's
okay. So the city wardens haven't visited the area at all?
Sorry,
the city wardens?
They have. I think they have visited, but I think they've concentrated their visits on Gladstone Place. So whether they've been and there's been no parking, violations there at the time, but we're speaking to our councillor about that, so we'll be taking that up with our councillor to get a repeat visit.
That's grand, because I don't know whether you're aware, double and single lines now are policed by the council rather than by the police themselves, and of course the police are only involved if there's an obstruction.
Yeah, well, this definitely would have been. It was something that we spoke to our councillor about, but also the condition of the road is pretty poor. So the road is in poor condition, and the yellow lines they're practically disappeared in some places. So the markings on the road are no longer as clear as they should be.
Right.
So,
excuse my ignorance as well. Which road is this on?
That's Bank Street.
Sorry?
Bank Street.
Okay. Again, if you're speaking to your local councillor there, I would ask her to follow up on the city warden side of things, and if there are obstructions, have a word with the police as well. Mr. Denner, one question from me relates to, you say that your customers come in, they leave the car for an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever it is, to repair. I must admit, when I take my car in, or when I took it in when I was working and when my wife was working, we used to leave the cars all day. We'd drop it off in the morning, leave the car there, and then when it's been serviced, etc., we'd pick it up on our way home from work. Are you saying that doesn't happen with your customers?
That does happen on occasion. That is something I try and work around, but at the same time, I've got to try and meet customer needs as well. It would really depend on where you're actually parked. Certain places, if you're in city centre, I've worked in garages in city centre where if you can bring the car in the morning and leave it at a garage, then that's free parking for you for the entire day. if you bring it to a workshop which is nowhere near city centre, which Woodside is a few miles out of there, you know, you've then got your whole commute into town, you then get your whole commute back out. It's not as convenient for them. I do try and discourage them. I do try and get people to hang on. I do try and get them to wait or, you know, pop away for half an hour or something and come back and collect the vehicle. But again, at the same point, I can't force customers to stay there, but I can sort of make it more appealing for them to, you know, hang around for that 30 minutes, 1 hour, so that I can move the vehicles along. Well, there is no benefit to me in having a vehicle for a day, 2 days, 3 days. You know, my only benefit is the time I'm actually putting into the vehicle.
Yeah, as I say, a lot of people are working, and it's much easier for them to drop a car, irrespective of where the garage is, whether it's city centre or out with the city centre. Far easier for a working person to drop the car and then pick it up after work. But that's fine. You answered my queries there. Councillor, query.
Yes, thank you, convener. I have a couple more questions. First of all, Mr. Dunno, we heard from one of the objectors with regard to parking of vehicles that had no MOT, no road tax. Now, obviously, as you know, it's illegal to do so on a road. Essentially, it would be expected that if they're in for an MOT, and I'm not sure if you do MOTs, because apparently you said it was quick turnaround work. MOT sometimes take a bit of time. But if you do MOT, hold on till I'm finished. If you do MOTs, then I would have expected that you'd have been taking them into your premises, because you obviously are aware of the legal situation. So that's my first question, if you could comment on that.
With the MOTs thing, I get MOTs tested third party, and any failures I do address and I do work on. They're all worked on inside. Sometimes I do work until late night to get them completed. To add on to that, and again to add on to Mr. Reynolds, I offer MOTs with collection and delivery. I also offer collection and delivery on most vehicle jobs that I do, whereby I take a vehicle, I drop it off at their house or their work or wherever. I take their vehicle, which again is another way that I try and stop vehicles building up round about myself. The MOT work, that can sometimes drag on a little longer. However, again, I do work much later hours to try and get these cleared. Again, I have no interest in having vehicles sitting round about. Vehicles with no road tax or MOT parked on a public road. If there's no road tax or no MOT, I wouldn't be leaving them on a public road myself personally, because it's not my vehicle. I don't want vehicles gathered round there of mine with no legal documentation on them. With the no MOT thing, the law on that, when it does expire, you can take that vehicle to a test centre on a pre-booked test. If there's any vehicles sitting there that don't have an MOT, it'll be because they are going to a test centre. If there's no road tax on them at the same time, you cannot road tax a vehicle unless there is a valid MOT. However, you can take a vehicle with no road tax, no MOT, to a test centre to have it tested, as long as it's a pre-booked test.
I can perhaps elaborate on that. The point I was making was that I actually entirely agree with everything you've said. However, taking it to an MOT centre, not parking it on a public road, and clearly we've heard that vehicles have been removed by the police for not having either road tax or MOT, I'm not entirely sure which, and being parked on the road when they were being repaired by yourselves. And obviously that's, apart from the fact it would be illegal to do so, not to come to your premises, I agree that, but to park on a public road rather than on the premises. It's also adding to the traffic issues in the area, which are obviously of concern with regard to the burger van, which is why I'm exploring this a little bit more. I'd like a final comment from you on this, and then I'm going to move on to the next issue. Thank you.
Okay. I don't knowingly have any vehicles sitting there in that state. No customer vehicles are left there. I have never had a vehicle uplifted in the 5 years that I have been trading. I have never had a vehicle uplifted for no road tax or MOT.
Okay, I'll move on then, Mr. Darno. You said when I believe it was possibly the convener was asking a question earlier. You said that you don't operate the burger van. You said that a partner in your business operates the burger van. Can I just ask you to confirm that?
That is true.
Okay. If that happens to be the case, then why are you in front of us today? Because why are you the applicant for the license when in fact it is a third party who would be operating the license? Thank you.
I'm the site manager. I am there at all times.
Okay, can I bring Sandy Munro in on that one, Councillor Delaney, and maybe able to give you some update? He's been trying to get in for a wee while.
Thank you, convener. Yeah, no, it was just a couple of things. Well, obviously, it's not unusual for the owner of the business to hold the license. Whoever's operating the a burger van on a day-to-day basis will require their own personal street trader's license as well. But it is not unusual for the owner of the business to hold the kind of overall license. So the only other thing I was going to say is just to sort of bring the committee's attention to, obviously what we're here to deal with today is the application for the street trader's license. So whilst I appreciate the garage and the general parking issues are tangential, we need to be careful that we don't drift too far. And what the committee should be considering is whether the application for the burger van is causing any issues, and whether any of the matters raised, the grounds for refusal are in your papers, obviously. So that's where the concentration should be. It's dealing with the application as opposed to the wider issues in the area. So I appreciate that they are relevant, but as I said, I just wanted to be careful because I think we were in danger of just drifting a wee bit too far away from the application that we're here to determine.
That's fine, Sandy. Thanks very much. Just for clarity then on this particular issue of a third party being on the van, we have an application, I assume, for someone to be running the van?
At this point in time, I was not aware I had to do that. However, I would raise a new application for that if need be.
Yeah,
I am the site manager.
Sorry. Yeah, we can discuss that later, but basically anybody who works in the van would require their own license so that they are personally checked as well as yourself as owner of the business. So.
Okay, thanks, Sandy. Councillor Delaney, back to you. Sorry about the interruption there.
No, you actually asked the question I was going to ask, so that's fine. Thank you, convener.
Okay, thank you. Arlene, did you want to come in? No, sorry, that's an old one. Okay, no more questions at all? No?
Well, actually, I've got a question because I'm the third party that would be working in a burger van.
Okay.
Did you say I need to apply for a license myself?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, thank you.
You would technically, I suppose, be an employee, so you would be taken on board to run the van, so you would need a license, yeah. Or anybody else, if there's another family member, for example, that will be on the van during school holidays, they would also need a license. Anyone basically that's selling from the van would need that license. Sandy, come in.
Yeah, we can get somebody. We'll get somebody to send Mr. Durno an email just confirming what the requirements will be after the meeting. That's not a problem.
Okay, that's great. Thanks very much, Sandy. Right, can we go to the summing up? If we start with objector number 4, please.
Yes. I mean, we put our point forward. We do realise that the applicant is just for the burger van, but our concerns are that it is just a step too far for the area. There was one concern I now do have. Mr. Durno mentioned that he wasn't going to be doing any advertising, but at the same time said that he was looking to put a big sign up at the carpet place at the top of the road. So that would be advertising for the general public, is that correct?
The sign going up on the carpet place should I get approval for that, would be for the workshop itself, because that is my number one source of income.
So there would be no mention of the burger van on that.
Mr. Durno will actually react to that when he sums up.
Okay, I've got no other comments.
Okay, Ms. Wilson.
Thank you. I think we've put what we've said quite clearly in our letter. One thing I will point out, when we spoke about vehicles being removed by the police, you spoke about that. We spoke about reporting vehicles with no valid MOT or road tax in the street to our councillor, who then reported it to the police, and it was discussed, I think, with Mr. Durno, and the cars were moved. So the police did not remove the cars. So Mr. Durno is quite correct in saying that police have not removed cars. They were removed by either the owners or Mr. Durno. So it was just really to make that clear. I also wanted to point out, Mr. Durno said, you know, Woodside, we have no hot food takeaway during the day. We in fact have a post office that provides a hot food service during the day. So we do have refreshments in Woodside. And it's just across the road, it's 2 minutes away. And I think if it's really refreshments you want to provide for your garage customers, would a vending machine not provide the refreshments that they need, rather than the burger van? I'm still convinced it will attract traffic and it may have an impact for us. I still feel Mr. Durno is not acknowledging that his business is having an impact on our surrounding areas, and it will potentially have an impact in the future. So I think everything we've said still stands. I still feel there's so much congestion. It's road safety that's our concern. The road safety aspect impacts on us.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you very much indeed, and thanks for your attendance. Mr. Durno, you've to sum up now, please.
Yeah, the whole idea of a vending machine, I do actually have a vending machine in the workshop. It was impractical. It was impractical for me to have it up and running and operational because I don't have the space. I'd be taking customers into our already cramped workshop. And currently during COVID restrictions, I can't do that anyway, regardless. The post office across the street, yeah, the post office does supply some hot foods during the day, as most post offices probably do. They're not a fast food outlet, they're not whatever. I have got, you know, I've got customers standing there with their vehicle. The abundance of fast food outlets or such was mentioned previously, and that's where I'm coming from. There is no abundance of fast food outlets in Woodside. As for traffic congestion and the negative impact on the area, I know I personally am out there every morning picking up rubbish. I personally am out there in the evening sweeping up the roads with vehicles parked tightly against the wall, leaving enough access. It does at least cause other passing traffic to slow down. When there is no vehicles there, there is no vehicles parked, yes, it is quite scary along Canal Street. It's a very narrow street. I know when they closed off the junction at Woodside several months ago, it redirected traffic around Gladstone Place. Some of them came along Canal Street because it was the first turn in, and that was frightening. Had there not been parked vehicles there, it would have been a lot more so, as vehicles just would not have slowed down. There was I don't know, vehicles coming along Great Northern Road doing 30, 40 miles an hour, maybe a little bit more. They were doing the same set of speeds along Canal Street at that point in time when there was no vehicles parked there. We have one resident who parks on one side of the street. We have all of my garage activities on the other side of the street. With that in conjunction, it does create something for traffic that has to slow down. It'd be physically impossible for them not to slow down. I do try my utmost to add to the area to make it as nice as I possibly can for customers, for residents. I've got a good rapport with all residents around about the area that I kind of occupy at the moment. I have trimmed back hedges at the entrance to Bank Street. I have opened up visibility as much as possible. I've filled in some of the some of the potholes along the end of Canal Street. I am trying to add as much to the local community as I possibly can, because in turn that will then benefit myself. It will benefit the area. It will be a nicer experience for our customers. I am, in effect, trying to add to the area. I am not here to try and add congestion. I am merely I'm just operating a business, to be fair. Residents with complaints. None of these residents with complaints have specifically came to me. I would be happy to talk to any residents who did come to me. Yeah. As I said, everyone who is directly affected has given me their own personal consent to be there. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. Members, over to you. Any proposals there? No, everybody's awfully quiet. Councillor Delaney.
Yes, thank you, convener. This has been it's been quite a difficult application in the sense that I can see that clearly the applicant is trying to improve the situation for his customers. I mean, under normal circumstances, I would say that's great. What I do find is that due to the location, which is where I'm heading, due to the location of the burger van and the garage, I really feel that the traffic congestion there and concerns over emergency vehicles and such like really make that location unsuitable for the siting of a burger van. And clearly, whether the burger van is being promoted or whether it's not being promoted, whether it's ancillary promotion through the business or whether it's a full promotion, it's still going to take some people in, more people into the area. And there's already significant concerns with regard to the parking we've seen. And more important than parking to me is the actual access through the streets and the safe access through the streets. So on that basis, I would be moving refusal of the application. Thank you, convener.
Thank you very much indeed, Councillor Delaney. Do I have a seconder for Councillor Delaney? Do we have another proposal? Councillor Henrickson.
Well, that's just to say, convener, that I'll be I'm happy to second Councillor Delaney.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry,
do we have
convener, convener, just before we go any further, can I just double check what on what grounds for refusal in terms of your papers the motion is based on, please?
Yes, it's based on a location.
So so basically sort of 3C, is that the case? Location, character, condition of the premises, or the character, condition of the vehicle or vessel?
That's correct. And in this particular case, it's the general location as opposed to the condition of vehicle or anything like that. I have no issues with that.
Sandy, does that help?
Well, yeah, as I said, obviously it was just to be absolutely clear on in terms of the grounds for refusal, because I say they're in their papers and we need to be clear when that kind of motion is made. So apologies for that, but I just wanted to double check.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. Do we have any other proposals? No. Okay, so the decision of the committee is that the application is refused. Thank you very much for your attendance, Mr. Durno, and Ms. Scaife and Ms. Wilson. Thank you very much indeed.
Just to be clear, the formal written decision will come out within 7 days. You will have the right of appeal should you so wish to the Sheriff Court, Mr. Durno, but that's something you'd have to take your own legal advice on. But you'll be notified of that in the decision letter that will come probably by email within the next 7 days.
Thank you very much. Sandy, just before we finish, can I ask that when we have applications in front of us, that we do have a site map that goes out with all the paperwork? It's something we've covered in the past, and it's something that would be extremely useful. I found it really quite difficult looking at the screen, which was very small, and you can't individually blow these things up. So if we can make sure that those go out in the future, that would be great. Thank you very much.
See what we can do.
Okay, thank you.
Can I just ask everybody to remain on? We'll have a look at that issue that some people are having with their teams.
That's great, Mark. Thank you.
So everybody else can now leave apart from the members. Sandy, I don't know if you want to stay.
I've got another meeting, Mark, so I'll need to nip away as well, but thank you.